Welcome to Red Ice Creations Radio. My name is Henrik Palmgren. This is Internet Talk Radio, coming through your speakers or headphones all the way from the west coast of Sweden. Our website is redicecreations.com, and we cover news and research. You can follow along with this radio show every Thursday and Sunday as we explore many different topics with interesting guests, researchers and authors. And today we have an interesting guest with us, and she's an author, Susan Joy Rennison. She's the author to Tuning the Diamonds, Electromagnetism and Spiritual Evolution. Her website that you need to check out is susanrennison.com. That's Susan, Rennison, Rennison.com. Also check out her blog up there, some excellent stuff. She covers news also and follows along in many similar topics as we do here on Red Ice, of course. And I just want to read a short paragraph that I found at the top of Susan's blog to kind of set the mode, as it were. It is my belief that the electromagnetic environment of Earth is now very unstable and will get worse. This is due to the unprecedented activity of the Sun and the constant bombardment of cosmic and galactic energy. Our scientists tell us that we have entered into a region of space which is causing the Sun to flare, causing numerous changes to life on Earth. I believe we are facing energy-driven evolution, not global warming. And this is a much-needed perspective in these days, as the global warming question is coming more and more into the mainstream. So it's very exciting to have Susan with us today. It's going to be very interesting to dive into further her research and to talk more about her book. So let's say welcome to Susan. Very nice to have you with us, and thank you for coming on and spending some time with us today.
Hello, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Excellent. It's great to have you here. You know, before we kind of dive into talking about your book, Tuning the Diamonds, and the whole, of course, global warming connection in there, I'd love to hear a little bit about you, Susan, your background and kind of how you ended up in the area that you are now in.
Okay, well, I'm British. I have an honours degree in physics and geophysics. And I've had sort of a career in sort of computing, mainly. And then I actually left the UK and actually travelled to Italy, and I lived a sort of compatriot life for, 2.5, 3 years in Italy. And then I moved to Norway, and I've been living here about 7 years now as well. So I spent a lot of my time studying. I call myself a seeker of the truth. I'm very analytical. I've read books since I was a child, but I've always had a sort of very strong sort of spiritual side to me as well. So I'm very interested in science. Obviously, I have a science degree, honours degree, that is. And I'm the sort of person that needs to understand what's going on. What actually happened was that in my search for truth, I came across metaphysical sources of information, and I actually felt the need to check this out. And the way I did it was I actually went to my first ever New Age meeting in October 2001. And what actually happened was I actually had a very big mystical experience, which was quite overwhelming. And then I actually met someone as well, the founder of the EMF balancing technique, and she actually invited me to do some training with her, and I was quite curious, but it took me 1 year to go. Since that time, I've actually done more training. I'm now a teacher, and I was actually asked to write a chapter in Peggy DeBro's book, her next book, and I sort of thought about it for a while, and then I made a decision to actually write my own book. The reason for that was I felt I had to have some kind of independence. I felt I needed to look at this whole understanding of our electromagnetic nature, but then I also wanted to actually integrate that information with what was actually happening in the world. I've been doing so much research, reading books and researching. I actually felt that I needed to put together my own understanding of what was going on. So that's what I did. I started researching the book. I came across information about the electromagnetic universe, and then I started to have a completely new understanding of my reality. And so out of that, I made major decisions about producing a book and publishing myself, and that's how I'm, at this point now, I'm actually basically taking my message out to the world.
Yeah, interesting. I read about your, I don't know if you want to talk about that at all, but I read about your experience. I think it was at the Cryon seminar. Is this the kind of, is this a mystical experience that you're referring to?
Yes, I had a Kundalini awakening, and as I say, I've been searching for truth, and I think I possibly might have read about it, but I didn't actually know what had happened to me. What actually happened was that at this seminar, there was a group of, say, 400 people, and they started this weekend seminar by actually raising energies up from the earth. And so I just thought, oh, well, this is harmless. So I actually started, obviously following everybody else, and we were instructed to pick these energies up from the earth and imagine different colours of different energies. And I thought, oh, this is quite innocent. And we did that for about 15 or 20 minutes. And then the next person came along, and they did the same thing. And what actually happened was that I literally, my back burst into flames. I was literally on fire.
Oops.
And I thought, what's happening here? Because it was like flames in my back. And I'm looking around the room, and I'm thinking, well, no one else is experiencing this. What's going on? And I was overwhelmed by it.
Of course, yeah.
Cut a long story short, I couldn't really talk to anybody about this. I did mention it to one person, and she actually said to me, Kundalini, but then she didn't help me, and I thought, okay, then, well, I'll just keep quiet. And what happened was, after that, I started researching this, buying books on Kundalini, and to actually find out what had happened. And I actually believe that I'd actually made a connection, a strong connection to the earth, and literally the energies came up so quickly that it created this experience. And in fact, when you look at many mystical traditions, the whole idea of a lot of meditation and spiritual practices is to awaken this energy. The Kundalini is held at the base of the spine, and it's an energy that you can awaken, and as it goes up the spine into the head, it can create enlightenment. I actually believe, in a more technical way, what's actually happening is that you are, when the energies go into the head and out to the crown center, you're actually giving yourself the opportunity to rewire the brain. The energies can actually be used to actually help to rewire the brain, and I believe that is part of the enlightenment experience. Do you have any more questions on that?
Absolutely. Well, this is open up very many interesting areas. Do you think that your this was a connection with the Earth itself, or some kind of communication, or is this something else?
Well, I believe that. I talk about this in my book as well, and this is very important. We are living beings, and the Earth is a living being, and we have a relationship with the Earth. And in the metaphysical literature, especially in Eastern philosophy, there has always been this knowledge that you can connect to cosmic forces and to Earth forces. And I feel that because of my Christian background, I was cut off from the Earth, from the energies from the Earth. And I actually talk about it in my book, actually, and some people might think this is a bit flippant, but I just felt it was important to explain to people where I'd come from, my experience. I'm not just an analytical thinker, I'm not just a sort of scientifically orientated person, I'm both. And I feel that I was sent to Sunday school when I was about 5 years old, and in Sunday school I learnt that hell was down there in the centre of the earth. And I feel that somehow that teaching affected my view of the earth.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I felt it cut me off from the earth.
Yeah.
And so doing this exercises where we were taught to pick up energies from the earth, and having this mystical experience for me was absolutely profound. But what I will tell you as well is that a month later, after this event, we had the Shaolin monks came to Stavanger.
Mm-hmm.
And this was amazing. I mean, these guys are just, these guys were amazing. But one of them specialized in this task where he had a needle, and what he was going to do was to throw this needle through a pane of glass. And he got members of the audience to examine the needle, and people actually looked at the pane of glass, how thick it was, and he literally threw the needle. It took him 5 attempts, but when the needle went through the glass, the hole was the size of your small finger, okay, and it was just a normal needle, okay? But what amazed me is before he did this exercise, he brought up the earth energies exactly as I'd done in this Cryon seminar. And I thought, wow, it dawned on me that people have known about these energies and have been able to use it. I mean, that's what Tai Chi is, all this Kung Fu and all these types of Oriental arts. There you're actually working with these energies, you know?
Amazing.
And so I was just amazed because I literally saw the guy breathing, bringing his hands up, bringing his earth energies up, and then he used the power to put the needle through the glass. And so I was like shocked. I thought, my goodness, there's something in this. There's something that I didn't understand before.
Yeah, indeed.
What are these energies that people are working with? And that really set me on a different road. I mean, I really started to understand that there was forces, there were energies that people know about, but it's generally not taught. Only in certain quarters is this kind of information actually given out.
Yeah, and when researching the Earth, or even then, I guess the inner Earth, you didn't find hell. I guess you find something completely different, right?
Completely different, yeah. Exactly. Completely different. I mean, and I talk about this in the book because I felt I had to sort of give a comprehensive comprehensive story of what was going on. Everything had to make sense. The things that I was reading in books, channeled messages, everything had to make sense. And so that's why I worked very, very hard on the research in my book. And I was just amazed that I could interpret information based on what our scientists are telling us. You know, I'm not sort of making up the research. I'm actually going out, finding the research and putting the science with the metaphysics, and that's what the book is aiming to do.
Very interesting. And we could as I said, there's so much information in your book, and your work encompasses a lot of different areas, and there's lots of avenues to go down. But maybe we can maybe begin to talk about the global warming connection a bit in these times, as this issue, I guess, is being hammered into people now, and we have this basically global warming hype on our hands, and it's popularized, by people like Al Gore and so forth, and it's becoming more and more mainstream by the day. So, I mean, according to your own findings then, Susan, what the heck is going on?
I believe that we are actually now experiencing a transformation of our solar system and of our planet Earth. And I believe that this has been prophesied before. Maybe we didn't quite understand how this was going to play out. But in my research, I start off by talking about the fact that we are getting deliveries of energies via the sun and from cosmic and galactic sources. In 1989, we had an absolutely massive geomagnetic storm. This is the first time that our scientists realized that our power supply on planet Earth could be affected by the sun.